Okay, so good afternoon, everybody, and I am delighted today to be joined by a very special guest. We are here with CSR Diversity and Inclusion Champion of 2020 for the West Midlands PA Awards, Wade Taylor of University Birmingham. Hi, Wade.
Hi Dan, thanks for having me.
How are you feeling? You all right? How you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you. I thought I'd make an effort for the call today. Put one of the few suits that fit on.
Oh, bless you. Know, I was having a chat with Wade just before the call, and we were just talking about our lockdown challenges, and I think it's something that we both you're very active. I've seen you out and about. You go out for walks, don't you, and get out there and get out and about.
Yeah. I try. It's wedding year this year, so I need to desperately lose weight.
Bless you. Well, how exciting that you've got that to look forward to as well this year. So I just wanted, just for the purpose of anyone watching today, just tell us a little bit about you, give us a little bit of background about you and your role, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. So my current role is executive assistant to our director of operations in the College of Medical and Dental Sciences. I also do project support for our Deputy Director of Operations. Prior to that, I was College Hub Manager and PA to Pro Vice Chancellor and Head of College and Social Sciences. This is all at the university. I've been there about 6 years now. Prior to that, I was PA to Institute Director. Before that, I was Project Administrator, and my career at the university started as a customer service advisor in the student accommodation.
Fantastic. What a great career with the university. I mean, obviously it's a great place to be because you've been there for such a long time. And what's lovely to hear is how much opportunity there is there as well.
Yeah, 100%. I think the university is great at developing its staff, it giving you the opportunities and that real sense of community you get, particularly from being a campus university.
No, definitely. Now, I remember, if I remember rightly, was it 2 or was it even 3 years ago? You invited me into campus to come and talk to you and some of your peers in the network as well. Is that right? Was it that long
Yes,
ago?
I think it was about 3 years ago. I think with lockdown, we're all a bit off on our timings, but fairly confident it was around 3 years ago now during my time in the Institute of Applied Health Research.
And was that the time, was that when you first heard about the awards, or had you heard about the awards after that?
I think I'd heard about them just before, probably at one of the social events in city centre that was run. And yeah, it's kind of just snowballed from there with involvement and engagement with the network.
So you were nominated, weren't you, Bogue? You had 3 nominations, if I remember rightly.
I did. I worked with some lovely professors and senior management in the institute, and yeah, you're quite right. I did get 3 nominations.
And how did that happen? So how did they know? I'm really keen to. How did they know that? Because, for example, I'm always emailing the PAs or the executive assistants, the business support managers. I don't have those bosses' contact details or the SMT or anything like that. So how did they know? I'm really keen to understand that.
So, as I said, there was a really supportive institute manager. I'll do a shout out to David Round. He was a fantastic manager. And obviously, I think he actually attended the event that you came onto campus to deliver. So he already knew about it. And I assume via that, I spoke with the 2 professors that I supported at the time.
Fantastic. And I think that's that's the key thing. Because for example, when I say to people, can you spread the word within your organization? A lot of people will send that to the PA community. And that's great. But we also want the bosses to know about it as well, and I think that's really important because they're the ones that might like to make a nomination as well, or even the community would like to nominate each other. So I think that was great to see that you had that. How did you feel when you found out that you'd be nominated?
I thought it was lovely. At the time, I'd moved on to my next role, and to have that kind of emails come through from a previous role just as I was starting this new one, really gave me the confidence in that what I was doing, what was good, and probably helped me settle into the new role better than would have done otherwise.
No, definitely. I think without me kind of, me banging the drum, so to speak, but I'd love to hear from you about how you felt about the process, how did it make you feel kind of from that initial nomination? What happened after that, after you heard about that nomination? What was the process like for you?
So I found it really streamlined, to be honest. I mean, amongst the pandemic, and I think there were some delays due to that, I thought it all went really smoothly. I mean, we had 2 interview panels, I think it was, and all I can say to anybody that wants to self-nominate or be nominated is don't be nervous. They're all lovely, put you at ease, and it was just an enjoyable experience. Just be yourself. That's the main thing I can say.
No, definitely. Thank you. And we when you kind of went to those interview panels, how did you feel about that? Were you nervous? Were you kind of had that mixture of excitement? Did they make you feel welcome? Kind of who were there? Because I think there was 3, wasn't there, in the first one and 2 on the second one?
Yeah. And I would just say make sure that you prep in advance. You'll have an idea of the type of questions that you'll have to answer. So give some real thought into it, and think about everything that you do outside of your normal role, which at times is difficult because you just think, oh, it's just what I do, but it's certainly not the case. If it's anything on my experience, you're involved in working groups or other networks, or you're ambassadors for things. So really give some careful thought to that, because they're all the type of things that will help you along the way.
Yeah, no, definitely. What was the reaction like at work? Because I guess at the time when you were nominated, you were actually at work physically. And then obviously when we decided to kind of reignite the awards and continue, everyone was kind of at home. So what was the initial reaction like from your colleagues?
I have to admit, I had great support from the new role, the secondment that I was on at the time, from the head of college and the director of operations over there. They weren't the ones that made the nominations, but they were so supportive of the entire process, really. They mentioned it in college assembly, in newsletters, and really tracked the progress, really. It was, Wade's been shortlisted, and then it was Wade's been a finalist. So it was really nice to have that journey.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I know how passionate you are about CSR, diversity and inclusion. So could you give the listeners or the people watching today a little bit of an example of some of the things that you've done? Because, CSR, diversity and inclusion, I wouldn't say is necessarily, there are people that are within an organization that are employed to look after those things. So you've taken this on really as an extra thing for you, haven't you, for your own passion, personal development, etc. So you've done lots of different initiatives.
Yeah, and I would say opt for things that you are interested in and enjoy, because these are extra things, and if you enjoy them, then it doesn't feel like work. Some of the examples that I've been involved with was the university's LGBT network. So ours is called the Rainbow Network, for which I was the events officer. I've done work with our health and wellbeing team around fundraising. That was for Birmingham and Solihull Women's Aid. And more recently, been involved on the Wellbeing Action Group, and that's again pushing forward the wellbeing agenda, which has become a real hot topic this past 12 months. And then the Sustainability Ambassadors kind of network, involved in that, and that's quite nice, because it's a nice community of people making suggestions that people might not know about. There's certainly ones that I've read on the Teams chat that's made me go, oh, actually, I'd like to be involved with that. And I suppose encompassing all that's my committee role on the university's PA network, which I have to be a member of because, as you say, I'm just so passionate about it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that is just a lot. And it's great to see that you really want to get involved with those initiatives. You're obviously very passionate about it, with diversity and inclusion. That's a really, a huge topic at the moment, something that people are really trying to drive forward, particularly within the larger organisations, and making sure that voices are heard and that people are given the right opportunity and the platform to learn from each other, I think, which is great. Establishing the network, being a committee member on that, sustainability is a massive thing as well for organisations. And I think CSR, particularly at the moment, has been something that's really challenging because we're all going through such a difficult time with the pandemic, and it's trying to get people's buy-in. People are contributing personally here, there, and everywhere, and you're trying to encourage those initiatives to continue within work as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I echo everything you've just said, and I must excuse the dog barking.
That's all right. I thought it was my chair, actually. I thought, oh, I moved on
Oh
his
no,
chair.
sorry, I think the postman's just been.
That's okay, no worries.
And
So, sorry, go on.
no, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so I know we haven't yet had, the face-to-face experience, the face-to-face experience with the actual night itself. But how did you feel about the event being virtual? How and what did you think?
So I actually attended an in-person West Midlands PA Awards evening the previous year, and I knew how much fun it was. I had such a good night. I mean, I think we're probably last one standing. But no, it was absolutely great, and I think that translated lovely onto a virtual environment. On the night, it was a real sense of excitement. We had our kind of gift packs ready with us. And my phone was going insane that night. I had, senior management messaging. I had WhatsApp group going off, and this real buzz of, oh my gosh, you've just won. And it was really heartwarming to see the level of support that I got, both, to my mobile and on LinkedIn as well.
And I think if you don't mind me saying, when you came to the awards the year before, were you nominated that year?
No, I came along to support a colleague actually.
Yeah.
So won.
And I think that's the thing. I think sometimes when people, what I loved about the awards being online this year is it gave people the opportunity who wouldn't have been able to come to the night to actually see what happens and to see, the range of different companies, the range of different experience levels that are up for categories and for up for nominations. And you were up for multiple categories. But, I think what the key message is here, we get some people sometimes that apply and they might not win that year and then they won't apply again. And I know that's a personal choice. I completely appreciate that. But I would just say my personal advice has always been to people, keep going, because there are some people that applied in the first year and won in the second year, etc. And you can go for multiple categories. It's finding the right category that's right for you, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's a lot like any interview. It's the competition. You can still be an outstanding candidate and have an outstanding nomination, but equally the PA community that submitted nominations might be equally outstanding. So it's having that resilience really to think, what, it's not me, it's just somebody's, they might have just worded it slightly differently.
And how has it gone down kind of with you winning last year and encouraging nominations this year? How has that been at work?
So I think that as I mentioned, we've got our own university PA network, and it's been great to see the level of support for the West Midlands PA Awards being ramped up. It's been shared on Teams in the newsletter, and hopefully that's translating into nominations being submitted.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think do you feel that people feel a little bit more confident now they've seen you go for the post and like, actually, I might go for that this year.
Oh, I'd like to think so. I think everybody's their own worst critic. So, you know, if you have that confidence in yourself, or even better, you know, somebody else has that confidence in you, then you know, it's real testament to your abilities and you as a person.
So if you could say kind of one nugget, kind of, you know, if you could give somebody a little bit of advice that might be sat here today watching back and thinking, oh, I'm really not sure this year, or I might go for this, I might go for next year. What would you say to them?
I think it's you know, you've got nothing to lose. It's you've got to be your own kind of best supporter, really, and just do it. That, you know, it's a fantastic process. Whether, even if you get to the shortlisting stage, that's still a huge you know, commendable achievement to have made. And you know, equally, if you then get to the finalists and don't win, it's still a win, really, because you've been recognised in, you know, really competitive awards process in an industry that only until probably the last 5 years has started recognising the executive support community.
Yeah, I think there's so much work that everyone's doing to try to, you know, change perception, enhance the role, enhance, you know, the communities that we're all part of, and the internal networks, the external networks, the societies, institutions, associations. Everyone is really coming together to really try, you know, to be supportive and ambassadors for the network. So to finish off, Wade, I've got this for you,
Oh, thank you very much.
which you've not actually seen yet.
I haven't, no.
So this is going to be, we are going to do a day. I'm in Birmingham next week doing some site visits for the award ceremony, which will be on there, we're hoping, the 5th of November. On bonfire night, the 5th of November will actually be our 5th birthday, the 5th award ceremony on the 5th of November. And hopefully there'll be loads of fireworks in and around Birmingham, which will be great.
Yes, yes, have a good firework.
Yeah, and then we will be during the, as we come out of COVID and hopefully restrictions lift, we're going to invite all of the winners and all of the shortlist candidates to come back, meet each other in a COVID safe environment, photographs taken throughout the day, the trophy presentations, your prizes given to you. So we can, there's still a lot more to do yet, Wade. We're not finished with you yet.
I know, wouldn't have it any other way.
So thank you so much for joining us today, Wade. It's been an absolute pleasure. I know you are going to be joining our panel next week to talk about CSR initiatives within the workplace. So thank you again for volunteering to do that. And we hope you have a wonderful Easter.
Thank you very much, you too. And yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you.